Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu-Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends to discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, honey, which could be peppered, which could be acidic, which could be just very, very, very salty. I mean, as if, honey, she's never had a drink. But at the end of the day, hopefully mildly sweet. Hi, here we are. We are so excited to be continuing the life that is Love After Lockup. This is season 4, episode 44. You know what it is? It's Life After Lockup. That's how confusing this whole thing is. And I blame Matt Sharp for that. And then and I'll be sending a bill. This is season 4, episode 44. No money, no problems.
It's supposed to be mo money, mo problems. They just like changed that. It's so like, oh, interesting. No money, which is like a falsity, right? No money, no problems. No.
Yeah. You know what? There'd be a funny sketch if you wanted to say gnome money, gnome problems. And it's, like about garden gnomes.
You poor people that have garden gnome problems.
Like
That's
someone keeps stealing them.
Yeah, it sounds like a hilarious sketch. Just like trailer park gnomes, just like popping up, like orbits gnomes, like just popping up here and there, talking about travel, people who can't
Listen,
travel.
perfect segue to our first couple, honey. Okay, so Trailer Park Gnome. Here we have Sean and Sarah.
I
Sarah is
call
very tiny. She's a Trailer Park Gnome. What?
I call false. This whole thing is fake. This is fake.
Yes. Yes.
This is fakety fake. There is
Yes.
no way.
Yes.
There's no way that there's several fake things. Here's the first one.
Okay.
There's no way that a mother would allow a child to hug a strange man that's her friend and that child be so leaning into that hug. Abby knows that's her dad. There is no way she doesn't know. It was really like, if we're really pretending that that's not her dad, then I think Sarah needs to have a conversation with Abby so that Abby is not so comfortable hugging strangers.
That's absolutely true. Like, she says this, and she's like, Abby, we're going to play with mommy's friend, like Anthony, friend. And then later on, she's like, well, Anthony, was around like once or twice when I was in prison. So, like, once or twice, this very adorable little girl, like, saw this man, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure when she saw them before, he wasn't like at arm's length. I'm sure he was like all up in the grill as a baby. She was a baby then. So yeah, they have a natural kinship, if you will, if that's the first time they're meeting, honey, because, yeah, they're just like, running around on this playground. He decided to wear white pants. He goes down a slide. Now their pants are gray, lines. I wonder if it's like, I'll be honest, there are definitely like art kids somewhere that watch that and are like, put a little paint on that slide, go down with jeans and just like have custom made slide art jeans, and they'll sell them for like millions of dollars. Well, that's what they do.
To fools. They will sell them for millions of dollars to fools. Fools who will pay for them. It better be some quality Japanese denim. You know what I'm saying? It better be that 3x3 weft and the way the pattern goes on denim. Yeah. Weft is the other side of the fabric. I worked in a bespoke denim store in Soho, so I'm a little familiar. Also, you should know that Japanese denim is like quality, because American denim, it was quality, but then the Japanese were like, guess what? We're gonna do it, and we're gonna do it better. We're gonna create our own looms. We're gonna do our own, like, I mean, it is interesting. If you look into the world of denim, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Is it Wagyu, honey? Is it highly marbled denim?
Fed by the greatest grass, Okay, so we have Sarah, who is on a secret mission with Abby, who's 8 years old, to go to the park to meet mommy's friend, and to not tell Sean about the meeting with mommy's friend. It just all sounds very sketchy and something that obviously Abby would feel very uncomfortable doing. And then we meet Anthony, and he is definitely better looking than Sean, but there's a little bit of like Sugar Ray, or like a very like early 2010s look about this individual. Not even early 2010s, like the aughts. the like 0 to 10.
Yeah. Yeah, Sarah's there too, honey, with, her and her daughter are like wearing a matching combo of like layered shirts and like a hoodie that their daughter doesn't want to put on and like the same ripped American non-wagyu denim. And yeah, like Sean's calling and she's just like, no. And it's interesting because when Sean calls, it just shows up as Sean, which is like means that in her phone it just says Sean. It doesn't say his last name. Or, like the contact she put in was just like, Sean. Like there's this is when it's like so horrible. Like there's so many people in my phone that I'm like, Tim, Mark's friend, like, or Joe, Hinge, Joe, Bob, Hinge, like Mark, Hinge, like, I don't know why they have horrible names on Hinge. But so she just was like, she met some dude one time. She put that name in that phone, didn't even ask what the last name was and never even updated it. So Sean calls, she declines, she's been declining. But then what happens is, she gets back to her house. She's like, yeah, daughter, don't be telling anything. Just lie, lie, lie. If he says anything, just lie, honey. And I'm teaching you how to live, like, okay, great, great, great. And then this person has a blow up rose gold hot tub balloon, mylar balloon encrusted inside the house, just like, kids' kiddie pool. What? No, I like have never seen that. Is that okay? Here's the thing. Is that something that happens? Will you tell me, is that something that happens? I've like never seen this before. At one point, Jets come on, and I'm like, then I'm impressed. The entire time before then, upset. Wow.
It is wild. Okay, first of all, any large body of water in my living room where there's carpet or maybe even flooring is going to be very upset because if that shit spills or leaks, water damage. One, it's not cold outside. It's not super cold. And even if it were snowing, people still get in the hot tub in snow outside. So why is it inside the house? Is it inside the house because maybe they thought like if the baby is asleep, then the baby is like right next to us asleep, and then we could be in the house? Like, and then also like all of these different. Is it Valentine's Day? Is it Happy Smile Day? Is it Rainbow Heart Day? And then he's like, here's another level of fraud that I think is fraud. The fact that she doesn't get in with him. The only way that I would not get into a hot tub with the person who like took all this time to fill it, blow it up, set it up, is if I was like on the heaviest day of my period and I knew if I got in that water, the heat would just make it come out more. Like otherwise I'm getting in there, even if I hate it. The whole like, oh, I'm tired, I can't be tired. And then I also thought, why didn't she say, listen, you know how you were tired when I was naked in a sling swing in our bedroom and you didn't want any and you went downstairs and played with your son? That is exactly how I'm feeling right now.
I think she could also easily say, hey, you know how like I had to deal with all 14 billion of your kids and that one Kelly, and it was like all of last season, and you have had to deal with not a thing from me. I have one child. I'm just gonna like let that one child hang out with that one child's dad, and you're gonna be okay with it.
Yeah, these are all true. These are all facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, what's he gonna say? She, rules the roost. But yeah, their entire home looks like 90s, like a 90s, like prostitute's home. I mean, everything is black and red roses, and it's just so specifically
Heidi Fleiss.
Yeah, it is just romance in a way that feels dated and maybe they put on.
Macabre, also kind of vampiric. Also, in her kitchen is like everything is matchy, but it's like wine, it's like bad vineyard wine. Like when people are like, I want to be fancy and I want to have like a south of France like vineyard look in my kitchen, like Tuscany, and look in my kitchen, and then you go and get like something from like the Dollar Tree that's all matching, and it's just like big ass glass of over poured wine that's like not even dark brown or dark red. It's just like grape juice, and then that has like vines, and it's just like a lot. It's a lot for me to handle, but that's it. I mean,
how did they drain it? How did they wait? I just want to know. Wow, how did they drain it?
I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's in the living room. This is already beyond anything that I could possibly understand.
Because he's like, is it so yeah, it's on carpet, so he gets up wet and like puts his foot over the rose gold banister, and there's water on the carpet. Water on the carpet is just, and like that's if they don't spring a leak, which I just couldn't believe it. At the same time, I want a portable hot tub. I mean, is that Costco? It's a
Where are you
rose
gonna
gold.
where are you gonna put this portable? Let's like really talk about your where okay, I know where you're gonna put it. There's one place you could put it.
Right,
Hollywood
not
Ranch.
that place.
Okay, there's one place, right?
Yeah.
And then where's the
Okay.
next place?
Okay. The beach. Get the water there. No, I don't know. The water and how do you drain it in the water is just wild to me. Like, I truly don't understand. Now I will say this: he didn't fill it all the way. Like when you actually look at it, like it's look how. I mean, maybe because he wants to put bubbles in, but like, how deep is it? Look at how many balloons he got. Like,
How deep is your love?
I can't stand it. So yeah, I just don't. We can move on if you want, but
Yeah,
yeah.
let's move on. Let's talk about other trailer trash gnomes. Let's move on to Blaine and Lindsay. Ooh, okay. So in this episode, it begins with Lindsay sitting at the coffee table asking Blaine how they're going to pay for his $15,000 debt to that stupid ass lawyer. And he's like, well, darn, make me bring a man so I can do it myself. And she's like, you want me to call in favors? Because I can call Six. She owes me money. People owe me money. I'm calling it in. And so she calls Six, and she's like, how you doing? And Six is like, good. And she's like, well, how are you doing on money? And Six is like, girl, bad, bad. And then Lindsay's like, well, call Sarah and Paul because they owe me $1,000 each. And Sticks is like, I will absolutely do that for you, madam, because you can't call in your debt to me. I don't have that 800. And so she's just like, call this person, give me that money. Call this person, give me that money. Now, meanwhile, this man is sitting on the secret that he's taken the deal for house arrest. And it's unclear to us, including his father, his chinless father, why he is going through all of this as opposed to just telling her the good news. But he's like, because producers told me I have to have the secret, and so this is my secret. Chris?
Oh yeah. So Blaine's dad, like everyone is going through it there. It's just it's that town, there's a cycles of people going through it. So the dad went through it too. He was in and out of prison, like, and so Blaine is happy to have him in his life. And so when we see him, certain things have taken a toll, haven't they? And it's interesting because I can hardly understand what Blaine's saying most of the time. But when his dad talks, it's like, oh, I need Blaine to like translate for me. I can't understand what you're saying. Like at one, yeah. What do you say?
I'm fixing to pull up on you, son.
Yeah.
I wanted to know if he said it while he was turning the corner down their like driveway, or like when did he say it? Also, did you notice that their house was way better looking? I thought they were in their aunt's house for a second.
You're right. Like, listen, Blaine had that one friend, and Lindsay came in and like bossed him around, and whatever she bossed him around do, honey, 2 weeks later, like they flipped that house. It was flip or flop. It was better than Tariq and Christina, honey. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
No Stone. But yes, you're absolutely right. So he does fix to pull up on his son, and Lindsay gets to meet Pop, and that's their first time meeting, which you didn't know that. I would like for some reason thought they had met before because obviously they have a long history. Lindsay has this like twist braid, one big twist braid.
Beautiful.
It's like I can't braid. I can't French braid. I can't pop. So there's like, there's like braiding, French braiding. There's the fishtail braid where the thing comes out like 3D braid. This is like almost kind of looks like Elsa style braid where like it just looks like hair just turns on each other.
Yeah, she like braided it and then she fluffed out the plaits. A fish braid, I can do a fish braid. I can show you how to do that. And I mean, I can show you how to do not cornrows. They're not cornrows because obviously there's just two. What are those things called? French braid is what you called
French
it.
braids.
Yeah. So I mean, I can show you how to do that. But that hair when she went to go see Miley Grace and when she was seeing that ding dong father, yeah, it was beautiful. Pop to the side, high pony. I said, this is what I'm talking about. We all know that her makeup is exclusively from Walmart, but the girl looks good.
She's gorgeous.
I mean, she just like hair good. I mean, the outfit is from Walmart too. Still looks great.
Yeah.
Lindsay has the great facial bone structure.
I
And
sorry, I just want to like this Lindsay would have been fun if she was taller. She would have been a great character to have like on early seasons of America's Next Top Model. Like nothing made me happier than when someone was on America's Next Top Model who was like from like, another place of some kind, where like, it just Lindsay I think is really beautiful also. But she's
yeah,
not
you
tall
mean
enough.
you mean that you liked people from American Next Top Model who were just like from bumfuck everywhere in the middle of the country and just coming out looking like a model?
Yes, but also like, any like there was like obviously lovely women from, like African countries. Like anytime there was someone like I think there was like this Russian girl I loved from like season 2 or 3. I forgot anyone's name. I mean, this is like 45 years ago, but
Hmm.
like yeah, almost my favorite models were like never the like sort of mainstream American models or one from like major cities. It was kind of the people that were just plucked out of like some other place and like now
Hmm.
on TV,
Okay,
which
the
is
diamonds in the rough.
yeah, but then unfortunately, I do think that they were probably being somewhat taken advantage of by a production people that probably like, oh yeah, well she's not at an agency yet, like if she had already just gone to New York or whatever, like maybe she would already been like picked up. But until that happens, we'll take advantage of her and tell her she's fat or tell her she's ugly, and then like because America's Next Top Model, like there's a lot of different videos from back in the day of it being really really oh discriminatory in so many ways against the women. Like they were really mean to them.
Oh, wow.
But let's go back to there. So the dad tells Blaine and Lindsay when he meets them that like Blaine was like a perfect child, and then also Lindsay,
Mhm.
he's like whoa, whoa, and he says that to Lindsay, but then tells Blaine that Lindsay's too short, she's not tall enough,
It's
which is what I
it's
just said.
it's weird that a man that looks like him and is him would have the audacity to gather spit in their mouth to even comment on a woman. Also, he was saying that like also Blaine's like younger photos. I was like, oh, Blaine is like that one boy from the Murdaugh murders, Connor or whatever his name was, Connor Cook. He was like that with that raccoon hair where it's like swooped to the side. And when he had the puka shells on, I was like, wow, I know that guy. I went to high school with like his older brother or something like that. Like it's like I know that person 100%. So the dad was like at first the dad was like, oh, Lindsay's so hot. That's what it felt like. He got out of the car, he's like, that's Lindsay. Oh, she's hot. Look at her body, hot, hot. So then they go sit on their porch that isn't done. And Lindsay's sitting straight up in that man's lap. And I was uncomfortable. I find it just to be like weird when people, to me, that is a gratuitous show of affection in an unnecessary situation. And
Yes.
listen, I understand that folks are in love, but if you guys are all like if you're with other couples and y'all have been drinking a little bit and you want to sit on your man's lap and there's just a bunch of couples everywhere and you guys are like canoodling and cuddling and like deedling and tingling, then I get it. But like when you are meeting a man's father, for you to sit on his lap like a common whore, which is nothing wrong with being a common whore. I love it. I'm in my hoe phase at this moment of my life, but it just feels like unnecessarily something for me. Also, did you notice that like I think he might have started like jiggling his leg or something? She like reached over and swat um Blaine while he was talking.
No, oh, I missed that part, but I did want to say like I find that it's fascinating that you brought that up because I agree, and I was like, what was it? Wait, was it a show of power like me and your son are together and there's nothing you can do about it and like this is a whole thing, or is it a way of being like you should be really proud of your son because he pulled me and we are in a loving and sexual relationship?
Or is it that she just didn't have a third chair? She needs to get a chair.
Should make him build one. She'd like to be like, Blaine, build me a chair. Like I'm surprised that she, yeah, I love anytime she talks about like how she and him, were just like a Bonnie and Clyde style drug couple.
Yeah. The dad's like, well, she pimped you out. And Blaine's like, no, we both pimped each other out. We both sold drugs and, whatever. Because he tells this like crazy story of how she like comes over with like 5 safes. And I'm like, a safe? And then like he pops the top on each safe, and one has money, one has drugs, and one has guns. And it's just like, I need a reality show about that. I mean, I wish that she was that person without the drug abuse. Because I imagine that she was like buck wild with the drugs. In my mind, Lindsay was like ready to fight a bitch at any time. Not even a bitch. She was ready to fight men at any time.
Absolutely. Listen, there are great pictures in this episode of like her past. Like, so, and they come up when she starts talking to her daughter in the next scene. Her daughter and her are going purity ring shopping, which obviously is different than what happened to her. Her daughter is, I think, 13.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay was 14 when she got pregnant with her, with a 16-year-old, and she like found out, she says, like before a basketball game. And this is a little like deep dive into her past, and obviously she's like, look, I got pregnant, and I started selling drugs for the money, and then also started selling drugs so I could do more drugs, and then it was like picture, 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 and it's all like Avril Lavigne kind of, like that look, like straight hair and like crazy colored hair, like, I mean, yeah, just like straight ironed. I mean, what a journey for her. I want the best for her. I really, really love Lindsay. Like, there's something about her that I really appreciate and love. And obviously, I think she's pretty, but I also think that she is a strong bitch. And I somehow, yeah, I guess I just like appreciate it. And I want the best, and I want her to use her power for good. Because she's so
Yeah.
strong, and she's like so strong-willed, and she has a beautiful daughter, and she's lovely, and I do like her relationship with Blaine. I love the fact that her mom even likes her relationship with Blaine, even though they're both, drug dealers that
Mm-hmm.
work together. But the fact that but her mom's like, no, he's great for you. I mean, it's a testimony.
Yeah, I mean, it really is, because I don't think he is, but it's fine. I don't think they're bad for each other, but like I think that this is a combination that could go awry. I also liked, okay, two things.
Hmm.
I kind of disliked that she was talking to her daughter about her life, but that's because I have rather conservative feelings about parent and child relationships, and not conservative as in like it needs to be like a definite like staunch difference, but I feel like maybe sometimes um you should be the example of like stability and positivity. However, on the flip side, I think that the parenting style that Lindsay has is, she's not that much older than her daughter. She was just in her daughter's shoes. And so her parenting style could just be like, well, let me tell my daughter what's really up, because my mother didn't tell me what was up and I ended up this way. So let me tell her what's up. She has examples of what not to do, and what I went through. And I think that's a good combination for her very specific situation. Cause I think sometimes parents can try to be the cool parent and it still messes their kid up. But in this instance, the daughter has an example of what it is to mess up and then have to rebuild your life. So Lindsay just being honest and saying, yeah, I am scared that Blaine's going to go to jail. I mean, that's not necessarily a conversation that I will have with any child, because I'm not that close to jail or in and out of relationships and feeling like I need a man to move forward. But I do think that it was helpful, and like maybe it'll do some good. It's kind of like how I think about Darcy and her daughters. Like I feel like Darcy's daughters see nothing but what not to do, but
Hmm.
also see what to do, right? As far as money making goes and like whatever, because the sisters are they're popular, they make money based on social media, and they like made a name for themselves after years and years and years of trying to be on reality TV. They finally made it. But also they can tell like maybe you don't have to get your face done so many times to where you now have a puffy face. I listen, this is a different franchise, but I mourn the loss of Darcy's old looks.
Hmm.
I mourn it, because there was a time when the bitch was good and snatched,
Hmm.
and now it's like puffy.
It's so interesting. Yeah. It really goes to show. Well, here's the thing. Okay. I have so many things to say. You're totally right about Lindsay and her daughter and the way that Lindsay was raised, as opposed to the way that she has raising her daughter and the relationship that she has with her daughter. Lindsay's own mother looks much older,
Mhm,
right? Like
mhm,
Lindsay looks
mhm,
like if there's a line of family and siblings, Lindsay looks like she's a mistake that happened 17 years later.
mhm,
like this woman's last kid and on her last egg. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? Like that's how Lindsay happened. And it seemed like this woman was very maybe conservative because Lindsay's like, your grandmother didn't tell me like one little thing about sex. Like this 16-year-old was like, can I take your temperature? And I checked my a pee stick and you were inside me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think Lindsay knew anything.
Mhm.
And then so that's why Lindsay's like, oh, I want to like talk to you about sex, or whatever. Like, are you dating anyone? She's like, no. And she's like, ha, ha, ha. I think Lindsay like posted recently like something Christian-y, like how maybe Miley is like saved or gotten baptized or something like that. So it's obviously a whole thing. And but whatever it takes to keep it in line. I don't know what to tell you, or keep you in a state of intention, or keep you having faith that you're, working through this world in a cohesive way. There's so many alignments and spiritual things and or whatever psychological things to keep us all afloat. So, um, I'll tell you this. I also, yeah, like I miss Darcy's face, and it's hard because she does not have like the taste or style level to just be like, oh God, you can just like get that all dissolved. If there's some skin, honey, just get like a facelift, and that's what you should do at this point. But instead, she's gonna go and pay like $2 in, Turkey to, I don't know, get what and to wear.
She could fix it? Like, she could get all the filler dissolved and then get a facelift?
I
That would
think
be great.
so. I
Oh
mean,
my
I'm no
gosh.
doctor. I mean, yes, I am.
Yeah, I mean, you are. What are you talking
I'm
about?
a surgeon. You know that.
Um,
Want to move on?
yes. Let's move on to a couple that I don't care about, which is Eris and Cameron.
Uh huh.
Because, like, what really happened? Uh, she gets up, she puts on a curly wig, and it's a wig that I have, that's not as red.
You never
And
have it.
then they drive to somewhere, and to furniture shop, which is like a thing. Matt Sharp Productions. They love to have people go into a furniture shop. So while they're in a furniture shop, he is completely acting like a kid in a candy store. He's touching on mirrors, talking about how he can have porn in the mirror. And I mean, just being all camera fodder ever needed, right? And he's wearing like board shorts. And then
Those board shorts are so like Venice Beach
he's in
or
Florida. He's living his life.
oh yeah, I forget they're in Florida. Yeah, then they're great. Well then what a no,
Yeah.
absolutely, sir.
And then he's like touching other stuff and like, "Ooh, I never had this." And then he's gonna say something stupid like, "I've never had anybody tell me what to do with my money." And it's, hard, but I guess that's my wife and I have to. And it's like, what's up with Chance and him and other men who like went, I mean, he wasn't even in prison that long. Like, for him to be like, people can't tell me what to do with my money. Like, yeah, you're in a marriage now, you idiot. Like, yes, that your money is our money. So, anyways, and then she's on the phone with her friend Patricia, who's like a older auntie to her, 10 years older, who was a CO, and that person wants to know about Cam. And so they set up some date for them to meet on the beach.
That part was weird to me, okay, because in this little setup, because she's like, look, Priscilla's like one of my best friends. She's like in PAX has Lena right now. We're like, oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. She's like, and now she wants to meet Cameron and she wants to do it right now. She just like calls and she's like, I want to meet up, set it up today. Okay. Like, first of all, that's the craziest thing in my whole life. There is not one time in this entire world that someone can be like, hey, I want to do this thing with you and someone else today. Okay. And then I would just say okay like that. Not, I mean, first of all, no, can we put in the calendar later? I have to ask this person if they can do it too. Let me just see what my day's like. Absolutely. I'm already doing something with this person. Like, but of course it's a picnic on the beach and the cameras are following. So like, that's why it's happening. And so it starts off well. Priscilla's an old CO, like, or was a correctional officer. So I was like, "Are you the one that Dare was with?"
I thought the same thing. And then when they
Like,
said
honey,
she
what
was
were you?
10
Were you
years
in a white
older.
car, honey, chasing earlier? I don't
Yeah.
get it. But anyway, so they get to the beach and immediately he like Cameron's like with Lena and they're super cute and he's like, there's my girl, honey. He calls her his daughter, which I like love and like that warmed my heart. And he Eris calls him the love of her life. and they kind of talk about how great that date was last night. But then, yeah, she also like in the same breath is like, that date was great. How the hell he paid for it? Who the fuck knows? And so they're like, we'll have to get to the bottom of that. And then so Priscilla like goes on a oceanfront walk. And like no one's wearing a bathing suit. They're just like toesies in the water. It's been so long since I've done that. It sounded really, really beautiful. Now Cameron hates every moment of this walk. Like he wants to be a little sand turtle. Just like he wants so badly just to like jump in the ocean and swim away from like this conversation, which is basically like her being like, well, you got to maintain the up and up, and you kind of can't do things that are illegal because you're taking care of a great woman and her daughter now. And Cameron's like, I've never had a job. I've never legally made money. There's not a way for me to know how to make money. I have no money to make in any sort of job style way. So think of the ways in which I can do it not job style way. And those are the ways I do it. And it's like okay, there's drugs or the selling of drugs. There's also the selling of other things like arms or the word weapons or
I was like, bitch, you're selling kidneys, arms. People sell arms. They don't. It's kidneys. It's ass. People sell ass. People sell dick. People sell pee. People sell
yeah.
kidneys.
Yeah. And baby arms, like
Oh,
if you're
Lord.
Daniela, honey, you'll buy a baby arm anytime you can, honey.
I mean, we've seen that baby arm. It's ashy.
Ooh, I forgot about that. I saw it too, and it was.
How could you forget it?
Oh my god, because I just
I mean, he's obviously a grower.
Sometimes when things happen to me and they're like a little traumatizing, my body disassociates and it's like it doesn't happen, and I just kind of sweep it under the rug and I just pretend like it didn't happen. I don't talk about it again, and so then my mind forgets it like it should because it's a survival technique. So anyway, Priscilla hears about how Cameron basically has no skills, and it just keeps being like, well, I'm gonna make it happen. Can't wait to make it happen. I know I got to make it happen the good way, and but I'm not gonna tell you anything about how I'm gonna make it happen because I don't owe you anything.
Yeah, no, he makes me mad. Like, I'm sick of him. I don't care about him.
Priscilla's making me mad a little bit because Priscilla's wearing these like glasses, like J-Lo glasses from like the aughts, which I'm like fine with, but then she's wearing these earrings which look like gingerbread men with their peonies hanging down. So
No, it's not. It's Afro picks. They're like black women, like Afro pick. But I could see why you would think that if you aren't familiar with with that kind of stuff. But yes, that is a great observation, Chris.
It's not the earrings that I don't like. It was the culmination of like as a baseball cap and like wire rimmed gold round glasses, my loves, with those
gingerbread penis
earrings.
Penis earrings.
It's a gingerbread man. It looked like a gingerbread man, like arms and legs, and then in the middle of the legs, my love, of an extra leg, an extra baby arm, an extra arm, extra leg, extra yoke arm. I don't have to tell you.
Let me go find mine. That I have those exact pair. I'll find them and show them to you.
You better. Okay, should we move on?
Yes.
Okay, so let's move on to wait, did we skip someone up here that I should go back to?
There's more white trash. There's another white trash.
Okay, so let's go back to Taylor and Chance.
Yes. That's who I thought you were talking about.
You think he's a garden gnome? You think he's a trailer trash gnome?
No, I don't think he is, but they have them in their yard.
Oh.
They're dancing around the fire of his pants.
Okay, listen, you're not wrong. Okay, then what a theme. Forget about no money, no problems, honey. It's trailer trash gnomes. It is no money, no problems. Okay, go on.
Okay, you guys. So, okay. Chance gets on my nerves because his consistent disrespect of Taylor really bothers me. And the fact that Taylor lets it happen, because I don't know why. It's like, I know, Taylor's Taylor. But she has things going for her. She has a home. Mm-hmm. She's got her ish together somewhat as far as taking care of her kids. They're not homeless. They're not destitute. But it's like her quitting her job, her being with Chance, her getting pregnant with Chance. It's just all of these just terrible moves. But at the same time, she's fighting against him. It's like she's going along with some shenanigans, but then other things she's like, you got to get your money together, chance down, la 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 la. But she married a convict out of prison who had an addiction and spends all the money and like whatever. Anyways, they go to a financial person who they think is a therapist because the awkward conversation that they have in front of this woman is wild. And he's like, I'm Chance, this is Taylor. And then he like backs, it's like he pushed himself in the door to introduce himself and then has to back up to let Taylor in. She gets in, they sit down. He starts going through how many credit cards he has. And when this baby man talks about how he only has a $300 limit, I said, well, that was me at 19. So, okay, this is where you're at 40. Fine. But he's got 7 of them. And then he took out loans from his bank in order to buy the car. So he's about $33,000 in debt. And then he's like, don't be mad at me. But, yeah, I've been going to the casino. I've been getting off at noon and going to the casino and spending $700 and just like losing all my money. And she gets pissed off and he's like, see, that's why I didn't tell you because I knew you'd be mad, which is I hate when people say that. It's not the first time I've ever seen that or heard that said on television. And every time I hear it, I'm like, no, they should be mad. Chris?
Yeah, no, he just like, yeah, I make $35 an hour. So this financial advisor is like, you make $35 an hour? Like, and you have 7 credit cards, but like your biggest debt can only be like $2,000 on all of them. And then, of course, what he's in debt is mostly for the card to the bank. But then, yeah, at first he's like, well, yeah, no, I can tell you where some of the other money goes. It's like every morning I stop by 7-Eleven. And I buy
Oh my God.
coffee, and then sometimes I get a breakfast sandwich, and that every day. And then for lunch, then I have this other horrible addiction where I go somewhere else and I buy another like sandwich. And so the sandwiches and the cigarettes. So I smoke cigarettes like a chimney. I smoke like Angela Deem. I smoke, that.
Cigarettes, vape, I chew, I spit, whatever that thing is called. Dip.
I put my hand up on my dip, and so when I put it in my mouth, I dip, so he's been spending money. So, but then after that is when he realizes that sounds so goddamn dumb. And this woman has a degree that's sitting in front of him. And like, whereas God bless Taylor is just used to like looking at him and be like, okay, this woman with a degree is sitting across from him being like, no. And so then he has to be like the casino thing, which he didn't want to say. That's horrible. She's pissed. They have a very tense car ride home where she doesn't want to talk to them. And then more things start to escalate. And this part also feels mildly fake. He's just like, okay, I'm going to get in the shower. So he gets in the shower and then she gets his phone. And then now the phone is not an iPhone. Okay. So nothing looks real. Like nothing looks like anything I can decipher. I don't know if she's going in the emails, but then she pulls up an email, which looks like a GeoCities website from like 1999. It's just like, it looks like a back page ad. I don't understand if she thinks it's a text or a secret sexy email just to him. I don't understand what that document is. But then she's like, well, I'm going to go log into our phone records and now like see who's been texting or calling. So she logs into the phone records and sees a number that he also sent a text to. So then she cross-references that number to his phone, and that brings up a contact called like Work Jess. Okay. While looking at me as if she didn't see this part.
I mean, it's what it is. It's just like I'm going to put you in this because you phone and internet sleuths. I will never listen. I was just thinking, if I'm going to cheat on somebody, it's going to be in my texts. You need to check my texts or you need to check my WhatsApp. I'm not cheating anybody with emails. Like the fact that she would just go so deep. And it's like, how long is that shower? How quick are her thumbs? She just knows where to go. I changed around the home screen on my phone and I'm like, oh no, it's not in that one. It's not in that one. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just like, it's just so interesting to me. It's like, this is a skill. Like if I ever get in a relationship, this is a skill I think I'm going to have to acquire.
If only I wasn't so like naturally gifted at it. And I wish I was naturally gifted at something else. Like, I mean, as astutely as I am that, I mean, whatever. So anyway, can't tell you from this moment what the F she actually finds, but I will tell you she loses her mind about it and then just starts yelling. Okay, she starts yelling at him. She tells him she's mad, and then he's like in the shower. She's like, fuck you! And she like closes the door. Then she like gets some clothes, like not all his clothes, goes outside, starts a fire, lights the clothes, then goes back to a shelf and what looks like grabs all of his protein powders, looks like
Yeah.
protein powder, takes all of that, puts in the fire. Then this man comes out and is like, "What are you doing?" In
This
that
outfit.
skeleton pajama pants, and those look like the kind of socks you get like free on a flight, and or like if you've been in the hospital, like maybe they have like the stickers underneath. Look at how many tats he has, and has look. I thought that he was he used to be way skinnier when he first got out of prison, didn't he?
I don't
Look
I
at
don't
that gut.
remember him from when he first got out of prison.
He looks like Joe Giudice in this. I mean, that's like a gut, like old Joe Giudice. Like I can't say it, but whatever you know what I'm
Mhm.
talking about. But then Was you have to like tell them what he said because it was so fucking crazy.
Oh, he said that told the cameras to go away. I don't remember exactly. Hold on, I'm gonna
Okay,
look at the
so then
notes.
she's burning the coats, like all of that, and then he says to her, "You're sleeping in the garage
Yeah.
tonight." To his
And
pregnant girlfriend,
yes.
whose house he lives in.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, I guess what? It's my house. We'll see if that happens." I mean, listen, you guys. This man is an idiot. I mean,
No, wow,
like,
how?
I want every man who's coming out of prison to stop telling these women that you're ready to just move in with them and be whoever they need you to be. You don't know how to do that. You don't have the skill set to be able to do it. Except for Michael, because so far Michael has understands what's going on. But it's like the rest of them, Cameron doesn't get it. Derek doesn't get it. Chance doesn't get it. Like, for whatever reason, Sarah gets it and she came out of prison. So it's like weird. It's like all these men are just dumb and they just want to like wet their pee pee and everything. And so now he's like feeling lonely probably. And so he like jumped on the thing because he already got the rodeo he's used for riding pregnant. So he's not riding her anymore. And she gets so mad. She's like, "You're stupid." And she like opens the door. He's showering. He has to jump out of the shower, put on some clothes. Then he's like, "Get these cameras out of here. This is done. I'm done." And she's like, "No, the night is not over. Where are her kids? Are the kids going to witness all of this?
Oh.
Like, what is going on?" I mean, we were waiting for this to happen. However, it's just like, Taylor, you could do so much better if you just tried. I mean, there's nobody on this show that we've seen that I can think of off the top of my head who is a parent and has that many kids, who actually has their kids and is actually taking care of them. So you have some kind of discernible skill set to be able to do so. And just like messing it all up.
She is. All right, we have 2 more coops left. Who do you want to go to?
Um, can we just skip them and call it the end of the episode? I mean, like, what happened with Michael and Justine besides Justine's like jaundice eyes because she refused to wear concealer?
Okay, so I'll tell you. So he now has his little son, little Mike, living with them, which is like good, because like this whole time it's been a little weird, and we're gonna talk about that. It's like sad and weird, but because we've been thinking it, no one else has, because I think they want to be like a perfect couple, so they don't want to like show too many bad things. But the fact that Michael just doesn't have that much contact with his kids, and just a whole bunch of new kids and a brand new kid coming, it's just it's SAD. So we pick up, and the whole family is waiting for him to talk to his like PO officer if they can all make the pilgrimage, honey, to Vegas. Or he's wearing matching camo outfits with
And
Justine,
so is she. Yeah.
and that's where she's not wearing any makeup. And but she does have mango smoothies; they look great. So he comes out and he's like, "Let's see what happened." And he like tries to fake them out. But good news is they signed it on the way to Vegas. So then he calls his sis, the one we know from being in that fight earlier. And the sis, I mean, definitely had that phone ready and going because he like calls her. He's like, she's like, "Hi, bro." So fast. So he's like, "Hey, will you come take care of these kids?" She's like, "Sure."
It's like, what is her life like? Where her and her wife can just up and leave. And also her wife. How old is that woman? That wife is like seasoned. And how long have they been married? Also, is she wearing foundation? Because the skin, smooth.
Yes.
The skin is like one interesting skin tone that I don't think I've ever seen on anyone. It's like, I don't know. Just look at her and I'm like, is it foundation? But anyways, her skin is perfect.
I don't know what she's using, honey, but like I'll look it up.
Mhm.
So then Mocha calls, and then this also feels fake too because remember how Justine already just hated Mocha for like no reason? Well, guess
Yeah.
what? Mocha hates her for no reason, and it's just
Yeah.
like, hey bro, can't wait for you to come to Vegas alone. And Michael's like, not coming alone, bro. Like, definitely have a wife or whatever, like, which will come back. Like, I mean, they're already married, so God bless, yes. And he's like, oh, fine, I guess. But like, when you come, like, you can't have a ring, which makes not a lick of sense. There's no reason you don't have to have a ring. Like, like, I'm so sorry. So, um, because the truth of the matter is, unless you are going to tell me that all the executives that could give him jobs are all single horny women in the field of hip hop,
Yeah.
unless you can tell me every record executive and every engineer that he'd work with and all the people that could help him get to the top, unless you're telling me, Mocha, that all of those people are single horny women that could get him there, then he can wear a ring. And guess what? That's not true. So, and I'm a rapper, so I know. So anyway, God bless. So then the sis wife shows up. Justine is eating dry Fruit Loops out of Tupperware, and she's like not wearing any makeup, and she's like, can't wait to nap or whatever. And so the sister's like,
Yeah, I mean, listen, everyone can tell that Justine is pregnant. Like, she's just alluding to it. Then they talk about their fight from before, and she's like, "I'm definitely comfortable for you staying with the kids, so like, it's cool." And then he's like, "I gotta go and like take my sister to some coffee and have some sister time." And she's like, "Well, I thought I was gonna go," and they're like, "No." And she's like, "It's cool, I'll go nap." So then they go to the jewelry store, and he wants to get her an actual wedding ring because he never engaged. He never did it because he was in prison. They got married while he was in prison. And this is just like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Because she's pregnant? And I'm like, what do you mean, why is he doing this? He's doing this because he would like to get his wife a ring. What does the pregnancy have to do with anything? They are already married.
right,
So it's very confusing. And
yeah,
then she's like, does mommy know? And he's like, yeah. And then they're like, she pregnancy test and whatever. Are you the father, Maury Povitz? And she's like, mommy has no chill. And it's like, cool, mommy doesn't have any chill. And then it like turns into a conversation about money. And he's like, I could spend $5,000 and Justine might not know. I could just replace the money. And then the producer's like, how are you going to replace $5,000? And he's like, let's continue on with this interview process, please.
yeah.
It's like, okay.
Cameron said, keep it fucking moving. Cameron and Michael, I mean, they're like the same kind of thing where it's like, don't be asking about my money. Derek, same thing. He's like, I got money. What? Derek's like, I got money, what? He's so small. Let me tell you one other small LOL thing about this. So when they go to this jewelry store, right? He like brings out some rings. He picks out one ring. He's like, I like this one. She's like, yeah, it's so simple. Isn't that? It's 2,000. Look at this one though. This one is fantastic. And then and the salesperson's like, like showing around. And they all like it. And they're like, okay, how much are they? And she's like, well, the first one we saw is 2,000, but the one we all fell in love with. Am I right? Am I right? This one, this one is $5,000. And then the sister's like, that's like double that. And I was like, it's more than double. Oh. So that is what happened there. And I will tell you this, Walt just left us, honey. She was so upset. She was like, where's my ring? And she just like left. Put a ring on it, honey. That's what Beyonce says. So yeah, it was awkward that Michael had planned to do this for Vegas. And again, his sister was like, why? But I think it's because his sister wanted to bring up the fact that she knew that Michael, uh, she knew that Justine was pregnant. He's like, how'd you know? She's like, because she kept wanting to crave things. So we basically have one hoops left. Okay, so Wah is having a little technical difficulties, and I'm just going to, honey, show must go on. So our last couple, of course, is Monique and Derek. I don't know why I said it like that. There is no Puppy and Amber on this episode. And of course, this Monique and Derek picks up right at the crazy fisticuffs climax where Derek's sister runs Elizabeth full throttle at Monique's sister after they have for the second time, come to like verbal blows in a parking lot from their two sides of cars. It very feels like it's like a version of Grease Lightning, you know, where Derek is then Olivia Newton-John, like in the middle, like, you know, and then the two sisters, Monique sisters, and all the sisters, you know, race to the end, drag race to the end, honey. Trying to like kill each other on the road, and their little like wheels come out spiky and try and get the other wheels ripped up. You know what happens. It's very dangerous. But I mean, here we have Stephanie just basically laid out on the curb and doing whatever she can to maintain maintain some sort of like I'm over it to the producers who have manhandled their way in and like broken up this fight between the sisters. And you know, it's always sort of scary when like the security people have to get involved because you just never know if like anyone's gonna hit anyone. I don't know. I don't know how intense this looked. It kind of looked like cat fights in the sense of like it just looked like people grabbing hair and just like lightly punching. I'll tell you that I think her name is Ariana, the other sister of Derek's, was like very upset that she messed up her nails. And like when she shows her nails, they do look like they are messed up. And I feel like they're probably just like freshly glued on there. So I'm sure it really was like sore that she had clawed and like gotten them damaged. Like if those nails ripped off in any way, like she says her hands are sore, and I believe it. She's like, I can't even drive home. She's like, she has to get Elizabeth to drive home. Meanwhile, Derek, speaking of Monique and Derek as well, it comes back to us. Derek is like, Monique's to blame.
Yep.
Monique did not have to do what she did, which is she fired the flame. No, she fanned the flame. She fanned the flame. Sorry, I was like, fired the flame doesn't make any goddamn sense.
No, she also fired the flame too when she went over to the car and was like opening the door. Yeah. Like Monique and her sisters got beat up because of her. And I'm sure they were happy to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, Monique and Derek, what do you think about them? What do you think about the way that this segment happened?
I mean, I thought it was hilarious the way the sister was like, my nail, oh my God. And then like when she was like, Derek, you can't ride with us. You caused this. Bye. I mean, her scalp was probably hurting because they sure did pull her hair, and that I'm sure that hair was connected to her scalp, girl. Woo, the sister was in pain. She's in pain.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to be any of them. But then if we're in this situation, because I think it's always, I mean, first of all, I've never been in a physical fight, but it's always jarring. I mean, I'm assuming that it's like jarring for a body. I hate being in a car accident the same way. It's just like, I'm so happy that no one's ever tried to hurt me physically. I mean, I really want to like maintain that. I'll tell you this, Derek is again pissed at Monique, and he says,
nobody cared about him and how he could go back to prison and like all that shit.
Where is your class? Where is your elegance?
It's an interesting word to refer to her as elegant.
You know, I will say like, I don't know if anyone involved has like shown any elegance. You know, like I don't know if that's the word.
I don't even know that he's close to anyone who could possibly show any elegance.
It's true.
Like he's just very far away from any descriptor that is known as elegant.
Has there ever been one person that you can say is elegant on this entire show?
No.
It's Jumbo Shrimp, honey. It's just Love After Lockup is not an elegant show. There's just not a way.
Jumbo Shrimp is not elegant?
Jumbo Shrimp, like it's an oxymoron.
You know, okay. Yeah. Because I'm like, I love it. So Jumbo Shrimp is delicious. But you don't like shrimp. You don't like seafood. So let's move on.
Yeah, but you also like how shrimp are small and Jumbo's big. So it makes no sense.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Let me explain it again.
Yeah, so I know what an oxymoron is. Yeah, no, I definitely understand the term oxymoron. But if you want to tell me one more again, you can.
One more oxymoron again. Anyway, so basically that's just like what happens. Monique is like, I'm done filming. She goes back to the hotel. She's like, I'm done filming for the day. And I'm sure she is, you know, like, I don't know.
She's tired. She's tired. She did a lot just now.
Yeah. So, my loves, that brings us to the end of the episode. Can you believe it? What a thrilling installment of the most elegant show on TV.
Thrilling. I was captivated while I was doing all of my housework while watching this. Mhm.
If you want to follow us on this journey of watching the show, please do, because we're going to keep doing it. If you want to watch 90 Day Fiancé with us, we're also following that. We have some fun things coming up, including Jared from Subway, and we can't wait to put more content out for your eyeballs. If you'd like free content, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at DocuSweeties on Instagram, at DocuSweeties1 on Twitter. And listen, we have a TikTok, and sometimes we do things there, but we'll try more, okay? And it's at DocuSweeties. Now, here's the thing. This entire time we've been broadcasting our faces and putting up pictures. Now, if you want to see the live visuals, you can. Wow, how?
You can do that by joining us on DocuSweeties. No, patreon.com/DocuSweeties. It's $10 a month. You get the visuals of what's tickling your eardrum right now, as well as we have a live every first Monday of the month talking about various things. So you also get to like tell us what you want to see, what you want to listen to, what you want to watch. We put up little anecdotes about our lives up there. So you join us, $10 a month, and we would love to see you. And if you would like to get our socials or social medias, she already told us about TikTok, so that's fine. But we do TikTok and Instagram.
Thank you so much for listening wherever you're listening. And if you want to give us 5 stars, let's be honest, we'd be into it. And if you are watching on Patreon, you would know now that Wah dyed her hair.
I did. Yesterday. No one at my work noticed, so thank you for noticing, Chris.
Well, you're welcome. I also watch you do it on your Instagram. So you can also follow Instagram personally for Wah at Just Call Me Wah and see how she did it. And I'm Chris Elfera. That's all I have to say to you, except I love you so much and thank you so much for listening. And we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.